Donald Trump has warned Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro not to act tough as the US builds up its military presence in the Caribbean. At a news conference in Florida, the US president was asked what his endgame is with Venezuela.
You mentioned strikes on land in Venezuela more than 15 times, even now, just in your recent remarks. Why should Maduro take your threats seriously? And
he can do whatever he wants.
What's your end
Maduro?
game? What's your end game?
There's no answer. He can do whatever he wants. I mean, we have a massive armada formed, the biggest we've ever had, and by far the biggest we've ever had in South America. He can do whatever he wants. It's all right. Whatever he wants to do. If he wants to do something, if he plays tough, it'll be the last time he's ever able to play tough.
Trump promised to keep ships and oil seized off the Venezuelan coast as the US pursues a tanker in international waters. It's already seized 2 oil vessels this month as Washington increases pressure on the government of Nicolas Maduro. Caracas accuses the US of piracy. The UN Security Council is set to discuss the growing crisis between Venezuela and the US on Tuesday at the request of Caracas, backed by China and Russia. Speaking at his Mar-a-Lago resort, Donald Trump also announced plans for a new Trump class of battleships. He says they'll be bigger, faster, and 100 times more powerful than any previously built. Joining us now is former Navy Captain Harlan Ullman. He is also a senior advisor at the Atlantic Council and joins us from Washington, D.C. Harlan, first of all, what new capabilities will this expansion of the Navy bring?
You have to look at it the broader context. The administration is trying to build up shipbuilding across the country for commercial as well as military. And the expectation is that by building up military shipbuilding, by increasing shipyards, that will also lead to shipbuilding commercial capacity in commercial yards. It's been very difficult to do in the past because America simply has not been competitive enough. And so we'll see whether or not the administration will be able to put in place sufficient incentives to make this now so that our shipbuilding can be competitive with the Japanese, the Chinese, and the Koreans, which turn out very, very good ships at far less expense than ours.
Harlan, is there anywhere that the US is lacking in capability in terms of its Navy at the moment?
Not really. We still have the most powerful Navy in the world. You have to realize that while the Chinese may be numerically superior, 100 of their ships are really tiny little coastal corvettes. And nobody would ever think in their right minds of changing the Chinese Navy for the U.S. Navy. So to do a numerical count of numbers, to me, misses the point about the fighting capacity. And right now, the U.S. Navy still remains to be the most powerful Navy in the world.
It is, yes, as you say, it's certainly the largest, most powerful Navy in the world. But is the U.S. worried about falling behind China?
I think that we've conjured up the threat of China beyond where it really is. I don't think that China is really quite serious about taking a military invasion of Taiwan. Now, we need to be very concerned about that. But too often we underestimate the nature of the threats, and then we reverse our course and overestimate it. China is an economic superpower. It is obviously growing its military capacity. But right now, I think that we tend to give China a lot more credit for its military than it deserves. And I would hope we could be a little bit more balanced in evaluating not only the strengths, but the weaknesses as well.
Harlan, Trump and the Pentagon have complained about an expensive, slow-moving defence industry. He's promised changes to make production more nimble. What are the current problems you see with how production is currently managed? Is it too slow, too bureaucratic?
It is worse than that. It took 20-odd years to produce the Ford aircraft carrier. We are hugely bureaucratic. We have a system that is so irrational that it had to be put in place by the Soviet KGB because the Americans would never do that. But our whole budgeting system with Congress, where we don't get budgets that really don't take shape, we work on continuing resolutions, which freeze spending at last year's totals. So actually, the fact that the Pentagon can get anything done is almost a miracle. But the bureaucratic problems in this country are extraordinary. And it is almost miraculous that anything gets done because of the bureaucracy.
All right, Harlan Ullman at the Atlantic Council in Washington, D.C. Thanks very much for your time.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.